I get asked a lot about adding captchas to forms on websites. I'm sure you've seen them on other websites. They look something a little bit like this, or something incomprehensible like that, or this one, which is actually a Google ReCaptcha form. Google ReCaptcha is free to use and it's relatively easy to implement on your site. If you're using a contact plugin like Contact Form 7, then Google ReCaptcha integrates with that, and you can use the security measures of Google ReCaptcha within your contact form. The one thing that you need to know is, in order to sign up for and use Google ReCaptcha, you have to have a Gmail address or a Gmail account or a Google account. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure you're using the Google account that you want to associate with your ReCaptchas. You can go to Google and you can sign in now, or if we just go over to search for ReCaptcha and go over to the ReCaptcha website, you'll see there's a link to Admin Console. If you click on that and you're not logged into Google already, then it will ask you to log in. So let's do that. I'm going to sign in with this one. And I'm now logged into the account. The first thing we want to do is to give the account a name. I'm going to call it the same as the domain that I'm going to be using the ReCaptcha on. And then we have a choice of two different ReCaptchas. We've got ReCaptcha version 3 and ReCaptcha version 2. ReCaptcha version 2 gives us those images that we have to decode or click on things, and that's the way that the ReCaptcha version 2 works. ReCaptcha version 3 actually works in a completely different way. They use a score to calculate the possibility that this is a malicious entry, and it will then work its magic in the background. So if you're using ReCaptcha version 3, which Contact Form 7, the later versions do, when you implement it, you're not going to see the ReCaptcha. It's going to look just like this. However, the later version of Contact Form 7 uses ReCaptcha 3, so let's include it. And then we can add a domain here. This is the domain where I am going to add the ReCaptcha, and I just need to enter the domain name, no protocol at the front, and then click on the little add symbol. If we scroll down, we need to accept the ReCaptcha's terms of service, which you can read in full if you want to, and then send alerts to owners. If there's anything suspicious going on, Google can send you an alert. And then we just click on submit, and the ReCaptcha tool gives us a site key and a secret key. These are the two important things. If we go and just see how we would use those, for example, with Contact Form 7, Contact Form 7 has an integration setting over here, and you go down to the ReCaptcha integration, you enter your site key in the first box and the secret key in the second box, and then just click on Save Changes, and ReCaptcha will then be integrated with Contact Form 7. As I said, you won't notice any difference over here, but it is working in the background. If we go and have a look at the Contact Form 7 edit screen, you'll see that there isn't any option for adding ReCaptcha, and some people might tell you to add ReCaptcha as a shortcode, but you don't need to. In fact, if you do add ReCaptcha as a shortcode, it's going to be ignored anyway, so you don't have to do anything once you've integrated ReCaptcha. It is now working in the background, checking the submissions and alerting you of any problems. If we go back to the ReCaptcha screen, you can see on the settings for a website, you'll have the ReCaptcha type, you'll have your ReCaptcha keys, and we have already accepted all of those. If you want to add a new website, then click on the little plus at the top, and let's add another one. Again, this is one that isn't really being used. Let's try and use ReCaptcha 2. This now gives us the option of what type of ReCaptcha do we want. Checking the I'm not a robot, an invisible ReCaptcha badge, or ReCaptcha Android. I'm going to just leave it I'm not a robot. Go down, we're going to add the domain, and then we have to accept and submit as before. And we are now given secret key and site key for this website as well. If we go back to the settings, you can see that we can easily access the secret keys when we want to. If we go back to the main screen, you can see we now have two sites, and those two sites will have their own data. You can see that this site is using version 2 of ReCaptcha, this site is using version 3. So that's Google ReCaptcha. That's how easy it is to set it up on your site. Any plugin like Contact Form 7 that integrates with it will have an integration section within the settings, and you just need to go in and copy the site key and the secret key and then follow whatever additional instructions there are with the particular plugin that you're using.